Next, we're going to do the iliacus point for your hip flexor. Very common point that's found. Again, you do palpation. To palpate the tender point, you're going to locate the prominence of that ASIS. Then I'm going to place my fingers just on the inside of that. I like to make sure the person's relaxed. I do that by just rocking them back and forth gently. Then all of my fingers are going to dip down into his tissues, being careful not to have your fingers too rigid. If they're too rigid, you'll bring all the tissue with you and you'll get a false positive. If you soften your fingers, you can see how deep I can get my fingers in. Now I'm going to palpate along that iliacus. He's got a tender point right there. Okay? You'll do the same thing on the other side. Other side of the patient. Again, find that ASIS prominence. Rock them back and forth to get the tissues to relax. Soften your hands as you dig down into the tissues. Then you begin your palpation. He's got another one right there, almost more tender than the other side. So again, what I find is something thick and full, and then when I press, he'll let me know that it's painful. Once I've located it, I will do the treatment. To do the treatment, we're going to bend up both knees. I'm going to place my leg up on the table. We'll bring one leg up passively into a position of hip flexion, abduction, and external rotation, resting that ankle on my thigh. I'll do the same thing with the other leg, bringing it up into hip flexion, abduction, and external rotation. The most common error I see on this one is that people forget to let the knees fall open. Because as I come up into flexion and abduction, they should be widening out more, not staying narrow. So we're going to locate that tender point by putting our hand on the edge of that ASIS, sinking down into the tissue, locating the tender point. Then I'm going to slowly move up into that flexion, abduction. I'm going to use my arm here to get a little bit more external rotation because I want, there it goes. Once I feel that point, relax, almost there. There. Is that gone? Now that he's able to tell me that there's no pain at all, I maintain my hand position, but I do what? I take the pressure off, just monitoring that tender point. We stay there for 90 seconds. During that time, you can occasionally recheck the tender point, just making sure you're in the right spot. Once 90 seconds are done, then you will slowly bring them out passively. Just reach across, bring those knees gently together, uncross the ankles. If you put one arm underneath their feet, they have less tendency to want to help you. Then I can passively take them down, straightening out the legs. Once you complete treatment, you always palpate your tender points. Find that ASIS, go on the inside, palpate down, and see if it's gone. Good. That completes the treatment.